And welcome back to yet another episode of The Movie Hoppers. And in a surprise twist of fate, we are reviewing a movie. Now, would you like to introduce this movie here?
It's all right. So this movie was the one of the newest political movies
Hmm.
coming out this year. Um, good old Irresistible, starring Steve Carell and other people.
Rose Byrne, isn't it?
Yeah,
It was directed and written by John Stewart. I think he's like a late night talk host or something like that. But honestly, we're too young to know who any of those people are. But so it's not good. Not a
what do you
fan.
mean? This was one of the greatest political movies this year
Uh,
or of all time. It was so good.
oh, okay.
I definitely didn't want to bash my head against the wall watching this movie.
I think the biggest problems of this movie introduce itself in the first few minutes, in which it like goes for in the very beginning and the very end of this movie go for a very surreal approach, despite the fact that most of the movie is extremely down to earth. It just it's so unorganized and like just it's a mess.
And it just drags. It drags so much.
Mhm.
It's like Steve Carell thought he was in the office, but none of the jokes landed.
I Steve Carell's poor career. It's just not been doing too well lately.
Like, can he only do comedies and serious movies? Nothing in between? Like, and this movie was like, what was this movie? Was this like a comedy?
um
Because it wasn't funny.
well, there are definitely some jokes like
Did
that.
you laugh at any of them?
um Maybe one, maybe that might be the world record for the amount of laughs gotten out of this movie. So, but
So uncomfortable the whole time. Like every scene was just so like cringy and just it got under your skin and it was like, hey, watch this scene with no energy, no motion for like 5 minutes and then we'll cut to another one. Like
well, let's not jump the gun here, since I'm guessing a lot of people probably haven't even heard of this one. Uh, I only saw a trailer once, and I forgot.
got so many ads for this. And I'm
This,
like, why?
why does that always happen to me? I watch
I
so
don't
many movies,
know.
I don't get ads for movies ever. I forgot it was coming out, like just in general.
I didn't know when it was coming out. I thought it just got like abandoned.
That would have been the better alternative, but Irresistible. Steve Carell finds this guy in the heartland of America who likes illegal immigrants, I guess. So Steve Carell's like, well, we could recruit this guy as a Democrat to win back the heart of America. And he just goes, and it's a fish out of water story with Steve Carell just dicking about Wisconsin and being, an outsider and trying to get this guy to become mayor and win back the heartland. And it's this movie. So like Steve Carell, I guess, was the campaign advisor for Clinton, I think, and Rose Byrne was the campaign advisor for Trump. Am I wrong? Is that
That's
canon?
what I got. And but then it was in 2024. So I mean, I don't
Well,
know.
like this I feel like that would have been a more interesting story if it was about like the campaign advisors for Trump and Clinton like going at it. But
But then that would be just like an out of place movie. Like, you know, it would almost be you're too late to catch the hype from it.
yeah,
It
it would have been better than this at least because it would have been at least
yeah.
like interesting.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, that was the subplot pretty much in this movie.
wait, what did you say?
It kind of was a subplot
Kind of.
in the movie.
Yeah, about halfway through the movie, Byrne comes back, and this movie is just, despite being so boring, it's just completely off the fucking wall. Just
Yeah.
no logic and just nothing. Just, just nothing. This
Yeah.
movie is nothing.
It's just a cash grab to, oh my God. The whole time I was thinking, I'm like, did these actors just take this movie to seem woke in the current climate?
I, I mean,
You know?
Steve Carell probably took it. He keeps trying to like win an Oscar, and you can tell, like he's trying to take all these political movies that he thinks the Academy is gonna like, but he's so out of place, and all the movies he picks sucks. So
Does
it's
he
like,
not read script before?
no, I guess not, cause he's just so fucked right now. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Beautiful Boy was okay, but
Yeah. That
and
was what, 2018?
the thing was that in that movie, every time he sounded like Michael Scott too much in that movie. Like I think you said this, like when he yelled in that movie, it sounded like Michael Scott yelling, so it was like funny. Maybe somebody else said
Yeah.
that, but yeah, he's just totally out of his element, and this is another another example of that, I guess. It's just it's not all Steve Carell's fault,
A
but
big chunk of it.
yeah, he's not that good in this. He's not good, but the writing and the the directing, or I guess the directing was fine. It was in a very weird aspect ratio, but whatever. Who fucking cares? John Stewart wanted to be different, but the writing was just bad. Like I don't think this movie could ever be good because it's just so surreal and
Yeah.
shit. I was gonna.
And if you're saying like John Stewart was like a talk show host, it would make sense if this was like the plot of a talk show, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like a political talk show, but like it would, I don't know, it would make more sense because
Yeah.
it's just, it's so boring. At least with like a live audience or something, it would like give a little something.
Yeah. Like maybe like a sitcom with a laugh track or something.
Yeah,
Because you
yeah,
really do need to know when to laugh in this movie because it's really hard to tell sometimes. But it's like when you were like a kid, like a small child, and you saw your parents watching like some adult movie, some like political, complicated movie, and you like didn't understand it at all, so you just got really bored and left. Except like I understood this, but I was still bored. Like
yeah,
I didn't understand any of the choices. People are saying Rose Byrne was good though.
yeah. She was not bad,
Yeah, her character didn't really make any sense, I guess. Like, she was just kind of there to be annoying. But,
right? And as a rival for,
yeah, Steve Carell. But she doesn't really even show up till like halfway. Or at least, probably wasn't even halfway through. It felt like 1 hour in. But it was probably like 30 minutes into the movie she shows up. But it. Nothing. really happens in this movie until like the end. And well, things happen, but they're so inconsequential. And like the whole the nun part, like that could have been funny, but it was just the whole joke was delivered so poorly that
Yeah.
like why even bother? Like again, I never watched the John Stewart show or whatever, but he doesn't seem like a really funny person. Like he understands how to like make a joke, at least not in this format.
Most talk shows are not funny anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's um
One thing I was really worried about, like towards the beginning though, that this was gonna be like a white savior movie. Like it really started out like that, with like his whole speech and everything was like, we gotta help these people.
uh
We gotta like save them from their
no.
squalor living conditions. Oh God.
You
Oh
thought
God, please no.
it's very interesting how this guy was defending. I guess this is well, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's really interesting how this guy was defending Mexicans in a town just full of white people. There's not like a this one black person in the movie at one point. Besides the whole town hall meeting where there are two Mexicans and
Where'd they go? We don't know. They probably moved.
yeah. They got sent back. Damn. That's the we just spoiled the whole movie. That's the happy ending. Rose Byrne wins.
Maybe they were like planted as like the big plan or something.
this
That'd be crazy.
I I I don't really know what to even say about this movie. This movie is just so inconsequential. It feels like it's the first draft of a movie instead of
Yeah,
being, an actual movie. It's like I I'm having trouble like it's just everything. Every part of this movie is so poorly executed. It's just and it's so awkward, but not like in a funny way.
he's
It's
just an asshole.
yeah, Steve Carell. It's a fish out of water story, except Steve Carell isn't just a fish out of water. He's a dumbass. Like he's put in extremely easy social situations, and he just cannot function.
And all these people are being so nice to him. That's like that got me. I'm like, you're like what like the baker lady? Like
Yeah,
she gave him a coffee, she gave him free strudels,
named a
and
cookie after him.
exactly. And then he just like gave him a package to deliver to the guy that he was already going to, and he was like, "Whoa, whoa, you want me to do something crazy?"
and
I'm like, "Bro, she's just being nice to you. Like,
I,
do you not understand like common courtesy?"
I guess the point was that Steve Carell, being a Democrat, um, was like stands against arrogance, against minority groups. Yet the whole time Steve Carell was being arrogant against these people, which I could almost understand, but Steve Carell is just never likable in this movie. Never. There is no redemption. He doesn't get redeemed at all. And it's just he's so annoying to watch. I don't even know.
And how about that slight hint at a love plot between him and the farmer's daughter?
That
Like,
was that
it didn't make sense, and it was almost like he was just objectifying her. Like, oh wow, she's
Yeah.
hot, but then
Yeah.
nothing was developed because it wouldn't make sense, but
Because
it was still there.
yeah, because like the daughter, despite this guy being like super fucking old and fighting in Vietnam or Korea or something, his daughter is only like 20 something, and Steve Carell like had a crush on her, except it like fucking wasn't developed at all. Like
He was
nothing,
just being weird.
nothing in this movie is developed. Just n- nothing. That's what
It
makes
just
it.
happened.
Yeah, I mean that's what makes it feel so inconsequential because there's nothing. Just things happen, like you said. It's uh, such a mess. So why did they even release this? Why?
Because they want to seem woke. Focus Features wants to let everyone know that they
Well,
don't appreciate people being mean to other people.
well, I don't even. I mean, it's not a particularly. I, I guess the whole point of the movie is that it makes fun of Democrats and Republicans,
Yeah.
but it's it's just not funny or effective at all, and it's this movie's just everywhere at once. It's just some parts are like extremely surreal, and some parts just I can't even. I don't like this movie. I don't like it.
Now,
I
Joe,
oh no.
that's not very positive.
Oh you see okay. Okay.
So we take a little trip
Okay.
to the positivity corner.
Well, it's a call on positivity, but I'll allow it this time. Seeing as you're usually the one in the corner. Um, but you haven't been too positive either. But we'll get to that later. Um, what did I like about this movie? Okay, the one part with the guy in the mech, like the guy that had a stroke, who was like a billionaire. Do you know what I'm talking
Uh-huh.
about?
Yeah.
That
Oh
was
my God, I forgot about that.
that was funny.
That was so
But
weird.
yeah, it was. I did not. It was kind of like shock humor, I guess.
Yeah.
But okay, that was funny. There we go.
Out of left field.
Completely just ridiculous and made.
And it was only for that one scene.
I know.
Please come back.
Well, that's what I was talking about too. If like this movie just at random points just goes completely surreal for no reason, despite the rest of the movie being extremely like down to earth, just normal logic and stuff. Just moments like that just offset the entire thing. But the other parts of the movie are so boring that moments like that are kind of the reason why I didn't kill myself during the movie because at least something was happening, you know. But
Mm.
fuck it, whatever. Now you go. You have to say something positive.
I loved all of the townspeople's characters. Like, I know they were like one note, but they were still like so lovable. Like the name guy was like, yeah, Big Mike, because I'm Mike, and then he's Mike, but he's big. Got him. And then DC Gary, I'm like, yes. And then the baker lady is like, oh my God, you're so nice. Like, ah, and I don't know. Like, yeah, it was so like wholesome, and I'm just like, yes, I loved it. Although Steve Carell's like interactions with them kind of ruined it, I still love those guys. Like, yeah,
Are you supposed to love them or are you?
no, I just I just enjoyed their time.
Okay. Well, do you have anything else to say before we get into the spoiler talk?
Nah,
Okay.
jump in.
Okay. Well, there is. We have to bring up the ending. We have to.
Yeah.
It
Mhm.
there's like two fake endings, right? And it's
Yeah,
like,
for
oh,
the
well, my point, what I was thinking is, oh, he must be asleep or something, but he was wide
right,
awake, just hallucinating those
right,
things.
right. I didn't even like catch that. Now I'm like, oh Jesus, come on. Why was he awake? Why was he just hallucinating that?
Well, at
Oh my
first,
God.
I was so pissed off at first because I thought like
Yeah,
he actually got with the farmer's daughter, which would have not been, that would have sucked.
I was so pissed.
And then for some reason he thought he got with the baker lady.
It's like I thought he didn't even like her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't like the rules and whatever, but it was like I thought I don't know. It
It,
was so weird.
yeah. And then the real ending, which was so fucking obvious that,
Yeah.
um, you know, gets with Rose Byrne. Um, and I don't even know what they were doing, like what their job was or whatever. And did you there were like some mid credit scenes. Did you see any of those?
Uh, the news one with the news people, right?
Well, there was one with the news people, and then there was another one with like this just random guy talking about how like everything in this movie could have been possible, like the whole
I
scam.
didn't see that part.
And I guess that was supposed to be like shocking to the audience or something, but uh,
It's kind of obvious though.
like also this whole scam wasn't even hinted at. Like the whole overarching plot of the movie, like the whole stinger, wasn't even hinted at until like near the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like there was like that would have been, I guess, kind of interesting if they like hinted at it a bit like throughout the movie to, like give you something to look forward to. But just it just came out of nowhere at the end of the movie. It was just it just didn't.
It
Uh,
wasn't well paid.
yeah, it felt like they were making it up as they went.
Maybe
Like
they did.
they, yeah, they probably did. Honestly, I mean, it's and right before the credits when it showed the title and it put resist in red letters.
I
Like,
hated that.
oh my fucking
Like,
god.
shut up. Shut up.
You did not deserve that. Like, you don't deserve that. Don't do that. Like, resist? Resist what? The voting system? Don't vote? Is that the moral of the story? Don't vote? Because it's corrupt?
I
Uh,
don't even know.
I,
And why was this movie named that?
I,
Irresistible.
well,
Like
I
that doesn't
was,
even make sense for the movie.
I was thinking, that it's because the guy, the veteran, was irresistible because he was like, for the Democratic Party, right? So, like, he was irresistible to the people of his town. I don't know how I'm gonna explain this, but I think it makes sense.
Or or
Or
it could be irresistible to Steve Carell's character. Where I'd be
I
like, oh, he
yeah,
could give me good recognition.
or
And
oh, no, you can keep
yeah,
going. Or no, how about this? The farmer's daughter could be irresistible to Steve Carell's character, and yet he settles with Rose Byrne instead.
because they were already in a relationship.
I don't know. He like totally settled though. Like Steve Carell's character like totally settled, and
Yeah,
it was not like the farmer's daughter was extremely fleshed out, but just just the whole end of this movie encompasses how messy it was because things just happen. And I don't. At least this movie should give hope to like aspiring filmmakers that like at least it won't be this bad. Like you could probably make something better than Irresistible.
Learn from this. Don't do this.
Just like I guess the moral of this, I guess the whole exposing how corrupt like the voting system is, like how much money the government just pours into this shit, exposing that kind of thing. That's admirable, but it just
Don't show in a
it,
way as
yeah,
this, don't show it as this.
it
Because then
was it
it just
wasn't done well.
undermines meaning.
Yeah, it, it, it just was not done well at all. Again, why did they just hint at it like the entire time, like that this whole thing was a scam? Like that wouldn't have even been that hard to do, and it would have made it more interesting. Like, oh, the townspeople, something's up, something's happening here. But no, not until like the very end when they find out that like the the mayor was like um the mayor's son was like OxyContin addict or something,
Yeah,
and then
like
then you kind of figure it out. But yeah, I don't even know. This should not have been made. It's very obvious why they put this on video on demand. It it sucks. It's in a
I
weird
mean, it
aspect ratio.
was gonna go to theaters,
Wait,
you
what?
know.
Can you repeat that?
Wasn't it gonna go into theaters?
It
Like if
was.
it didn't, so
Yeah. Well, actually, it's a little known fact that Universal actually released the coronavirus just so they didn't have to put this movie in theaters.
you thought ahead.
They did. They knew how bad this movie was. And boy, was it bad. Just almost completely without any merits. Just don't watch it. Just don't.
Yeah.
I would I, I would not recommend this to a friend or anyone. Um, should we get into number ratings, or is there anything else to say about this?
Nah, let's get in the
Yeah,
numbers.
let's never think about this movie again.
I mean, I'm already forgetting about it.
Yeah, thank God. I gotta
Leaving
take
my
a
brain.
gonna have a bottle of vodka after this. Make sure never remember this one. I'm gonna give it a 2.5. Like the directing wasn't awful, and there were some funny parts. Of course, I could count all the funny parts on one hand, but they were kind of there. But the rest of the movie is just completely awful, inconsistent. Steve Carell sucked. The townspeople, like you said, they're pretty good, I guess. But like Steve Carell just sucked in this movie. His career is over. He should just like stop making furniture or something, cause like his acting career is just like fucked. So I mean, yeah, just don't watch it. Definitely don't pay $20 for this. Like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That this is the type of movie that you don't like get the boys to see. So I don't know how they can justify charging $20 for a movie like this, but whatever. Fuck it. You go.
Okay, so I'm gonna piggyback off of what you gave it, but I'm gonna give it a solid two.
Oh.
'Cause, yeah, I there's I could I don't feel right giving it any higher. It's just even with the townspeople, the only likable character. I can't. It's just this movie is such shit. It's I don't know. I don't know. Like even with the copious amounts of trailers I've received for this movie, I just as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I don't want to watch this. This isn't good.
Yeah. Um.
You know, it proved it today.
Sometimes you can judge a book by a cover.
Hmm.
This is it, I guess. Um. So I guess this is the beginning and the end of John Stewart's film career.
God, I hope.
Yeah.
He takes note of this. He's like, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore.
Yeah. Just stick to your shitty talk show. Whatever the fuck you have. I don't even know if he has a talk show. Whatever. But yeah. So don't watch this movie under any circumstance. It is extremely resistible.
Oh,
Yeah. Got him. Rip this movie. I just fucking tore it into pieces.
yeah. Can't come back from that.
But yeah, that's pretty much all we can say about this movie because it sucks so bad and there's nothing more to it really.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching and goodbye.